Don't talk. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us. Um, as Abdu said, technology onboarding for this StreamYard. Is it StreamYard or Streamline?
It's StreamYard.
StreamYard is something. So our studio is going to improve pretty soon. But I just wanted to say hello to all of you all. Thank you for joining. And basically, the purpose of this show is the purpose of our show is to calm down during technical glitches and to spark conversations, to share it from a Black perspective and Black experiences. We were talking about sports and politics, which pretty much intersects with everything in life. So this show is kind of talking from a Louisiana perspective. And yeah, we have a lot of tech issues today. I can't hear anything.
And may I also say
I can't hear you. I can't hear anything.
my laptop, um, the keyboard no longer works. I don't know why. So we had to pull up a digital keyboard, which really slows you down. So,
So why can't I hear you? I can't hear anything.
You can't hear anything?
Nope.
All right, I'm about to start it. You ready?
I don't hear a thing. Can you guys hear that?
No, I hadn't started it yet.
Can you hear me? Because I can't hear you. What's going on with the Chromebooks today? Can you hear me, Abby?
It's not a Chromebook.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. She funny. Okay, here we go.
Oh, okay, you go ahead, run it.
But whatever, we can do it together. So yeah, so we were talking about this in the studio, and I didn't look into it at all, Ebro. I kind of was like, all right, that's the conversation about, the Algerian Olympian. I think her name is Imani Khalifa. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
I think you are.
She won a women's boxing match against Angela Carini of Italy.
That's right.
Now, people were like, oh my God, it's not fair. Yes, because she claimed that she had never felt a punch so hard and quit after 46 seconds. And then people were like, it's not fair. Trans people shouldn't be in women's sports, right? So then today I'm looking at, there's a site I follow called Impact that gives you great information, and they do a great job at fact checking. So I'm looking at it and I was like, wait a second. This is a woman. She was born a woman and identifies as a woman. She just happens to have high levels of testosterone that can happen.
There's been many women that have been banned from the Olympics for having that, by the way.
She's not trans.
No.
It was just a crazy, right-wing attack. They just decided to say, oh, she's a trans woman when she's not.
Yeah, because the clickbait was she was biologically a man. That's what
And
you kept
she's
seeing
not.
moving around.
It was all fake, Shawnee.
Yeah.
It was all fake.
Guys,
my God.
even knowing, by the way, that Algeria, I don't know if you know much about Algeria in North Africa, a Muslim nation, pretty strict. Muslim nation. I don't know if you know much about Algeria in North Africa. If you know anything about them, guess what you can't do in Algeria? Transition. It's illegal. Oh, and you think a country like that's going to send a representative to the Olympics that's transitioned? So even me knowing both those things, by the way, the Olympics doesn't allow that. Doesn't allow a person who has transitioned from one gender to another to participate in the Olympics. It's not allowed. I know all three of these things. I saw the headline and was still like, wait, what happened? But that's how tricky misinformation can be and lies can be. And it took me a second. I had to go read because in my brain, I was like, wait, did I miss something? When did the Olympics allow trans people to participate?
Right.
Fam, for years, generations, there have been women that have had high levels of hormones, testosterone specifically, that weren't allowed to participate and it was a natural occurrence in their body.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a South African runner that's been petitioning to run for like 3 different Olympics, and they won't let her.
And a biological woman, by the way.
And a biological woman.
Right.
So basically, the Italian woman got punched in the face too hard and quit, and then and they say that she's the one that started saying that was a man.
I think she was ready to do that from the jump, Ebro. Because did you see the clip?
Yes.
Did you see how quick it was? Like
it was 40 seconds.
She literally. How do you even like process that when she hits you and you right away say no, I'm out? Like that was crazy.
Well, it all gets this right here.
Congratulations, you played.
For people who believed it, for me getting tricked into questioning things I already know, like all of it. And by the way, the woman from Algeria, what's her name again? Laura Staff.
Here, let me pull it up.
Iman Khalif.
Yeah, Iman Khalif.
She's lost 9 times to other women, by the way. It's not like she's some undefeated Last time she was in the Olympics, a woman from Ireland beat her ass.
All right, guys. Get myself. Yeah, I apologize again for this technology. Honestly, I'm just gonna try to muster through this show because all of these glitches is really not fun. I'm just gonna tell it like it is. I wanted to get some of you guys' feedback on what do you think about the transgender attack on the young lady, and she wasn't even a transgender. What's your thought on that?
Don't wait. Keep talking.
I'm gonna keep talking, but I'm very curious because as the video showed, a lot of people. I don't hear myself again. The sound's going crazy. A lot of people had comments about it. A lot of people jumped on the bandwagon of attacking this young lady who was born a young lady, but just happened to have those, features. Yeah, that wasn't really fair. And then you had to have medical professionals get on there and try to smooth it out. But it was all a part of the agenda also, because the transgender attacks, they are coming from, Republicans trying to use it to their advantage. Which
wasn't there a runner that was born a female, but I think she was more of like a hermaphrodite. She was born a hermaphrodite, but she identified. What?
Oh.
Why are you beating the computer?
I didn't beat
it.
I was just trying to get the sound. I didn't hear the sound.
Okay, so there's this woman who was she's a track athlete, and she was born a hermaphrodite, and they made her like take estrogen pills or something just to compete. She had a uterus. She didn't have a penis. None of that. But she had like a very male testosterone or something in her. Can you not hear it at all?
I can't hear anything. I don't know what's wrong. It just stopped.
Let me see.
It just stopped. I don't know.
Okay, testing. Oh, I can't hear nothing either. Why you can't hear?
I don't think I'm supposed to be doing the show.
Hello? Testing. I can't hear shit.
I'm just jinxed today, dude. Jinxed. It's all good.
Wow.
It's all good.
Okay, you want to just take my headphones?
I'm not sure.
You can take my headphones. Here you go.
All right.
You can hear?
Yeah, I can hear now, but it's
Okay.
somehow you need to cut your mic off.
It is cut off.
No, it's not on it. Okay, so staying on the topic of female boxers, right? There's an interesting story that I came across about a Frida Gibbs. Does that name sound familiar to anyone? Frida Gibbs. Frida Gibbs is a survivor of a serial killer. And can you pull it up? She's a survivor of a serial killer. Her name's Frida Gibbs. She's not a trans, but her experience equipped her with the mentality to become a dominating boxer. And I would love for us to be able to share her experience from her perspective. So check this video out and we'll talk about it on the other side.
He said, listen, just let me stick it in. He had my arms down. Let me stick it in and I'll take you home. I said, no, man. But I was looking him dead in his eyes. He said, just let me stick it in. I'll take you home. I said, okay. As soon as he let my arms loose, I was like, I jumped up real fast and I got my back up against the van where the door is, the big lock
where
was.
The chain was. Okay.
Yeah. I got my back up against the van. And I remember mother telling me, if ever you're in a situation where you have to always
Again, as you can see, technology is our enemy today. But again, hold tight. Very interesting video about Miss Frida Gibbs. We're gonna restart that.
No, I'll restart it, but it was crazy how your earphones were.
I don't hear you
working
again.
and
It went off again. It went off again.
They went off again?
Yeah, it's just something. It's a shortage or something. The wires are too cluttered in this space. We're gonna have to reset stuff, I guess.
It didn't happen yesterday. Okay, well, we're gonna do the best we do, what we have.
See, we get started over.
Yeah, I'll start it over.
Can't hear shit.
listen. He said, listen, just let me stick it in. He had my arms down. Let me stick it in and I'll take you home. I said, no, man. But I was looking him dead in his eyes. He said, just let me stick it in. I'll take you home. I said, okay. As soon as he let my arms loose, I was like, I jumped up real fast and I got my back up against the van where the door is, the big lock
where
was.
The chain was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got my back up against the van. And I remember mother telling me, if ever you're in a situation where you have to always keep your back up against that wall. You understand
Right.
me? So I heard my mom's voice in that van. You dig? So I kept my back up against it. He was coming to and I was like, bam. I was like, get away here. Bam. Then I was like, oh, fuck this here, man. You look, man, just let me in the van. I moved all around the van, all the way around. And then I started throwing leg kicks at him. He's like, bam, bam. I was just, bam, bam. And I kept chopping his leg. And then finally he was like, oh shit, you one of them fighting bitches. You know what I mean? And then when I saw fear in his eyes, I knew that the chops from his legs was he only had one leg. So it was time to get the next leg. That makes sense?
Right.
Because I was chopping, I was going to get the next leg. But that's when he came at me like a football player. Woo, woo, woo. And he went to attack me. Boom. And when he hit me so hard. My back hit up against the metal. Then I was like, my voice like, don't give up now, Fredia. Not now. You know what I mean? Because he hit me hard.
Yeah.
And I grabbed the end of his shirt tail. Wham, whoo, whoo, whoo. I slammed him down. Boom. Then I ran down. I grabbed his pants and I pulled him over his shoes. I stepped on his chest and I grabbed his dick.
Okay.
And that's when I said, where the keys at, motherfucker? You know what I mean? That shit ain't funny, man. That shit ain't, well, you all let down. That shit ain't funny.
No.
That shit ain't funny, man. I'm trying to
Like,
tell you.
that was a 80s action punchline.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was yelling, where the keys at? He said in my pocket. I said, which one? I held on tight to his shit. I mean, I ain't know this shit even. I know now. I had no idea, but he was yelling. He's like, get out of the van, get out of the van. I was like, oh, so now you want me to get out of the van? When I wanted to get out, I had to let you stick it in. You know what I mean? And then you take me home. So I got the keys. There was like a ring and a bunch of keys on that mug, and I'm still holding on to his shit. And he still yelling. I said, which key is it? He said, it's the orange. It's the orange. So I took the orange key and I poured him all over to the. He was just yelling.
This is Cat Williams.
I unlocked the lock. Get out, bitch, get out. I unlocked the lock. Ripped the chain off, and I pulled him all the way over. I said, listen, if ever you see me on the streets, because mind you, I'm from the projects.
Right.
You know, if ever you see me on the streets, what are you going to say? He's like, hi. I was like, no, you're not. You're going to go the opposite fucking direction. Do you understand me? He's like, yes, just get out. And as I pulled over, I made sure both the doors was unlocked so I could escape. I said one more thing. He was like, what? Just get out. I said, listen. When a bitch says no, she means no. Now,
There you go.
He was on top of me. He said, listen, just let me stick it in. He had my arms down. Let me stick it in, and I'll take you home. I said, no, man. But I was looking in dead his eyes. He said, just let me stick it in. I'll take you home. I said, okay. As soon as he let my arms loose.
Let me take you off stage. There you go.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Frida Gibbs. Interesting stuff. All right, guys. Since we're having so many technical issues, I'm going to have to cut it short today, and hopefully we can get everything back on track, for the next episode. But I have a lot of things that I like to share on this particular platform. But one thing I'm not going to do is deal with this tech stuff. It's not worth it. I don't want to go
I
through.
don't think you should try.
I'm not going to go through the glitch because I'm a very sensitive person, and too many of them knock me out of rhythm. So
I think you should try.
yeah, I appreciate the support, but like I said, I'd rather be on point than off point. I don't like scrapping. I'd rather deliver something
But it's
good and
not our
quality.
fault. I think it's fine.
I'd rather deliver quality. I just don't want to rush through stuff.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's all I'm saying. Ain't no hard thing. I'm just like that. So I wanted to just skip ahead. We wanted to talk about why I'm doing this show and why is it important to me to talk about Black perspectives. This video pretty much is like it sums up what my feelings are as far as being Black in America. And
let me see.
Can I send it to you? I'm gonna send it to you. I'm not gonna share it right now. I'm gonna send it to you the best way we was doing it just now through the private chat. And then we're gonna show one more video to wrap it up. A little bit earlier today. I'll wrap it up with our end of video, but I'm gonna share this one with Abby Dew so she can go ahead and share it with you guys.
So now my earpiece on one of my laptops is going out.
This
The keyboard on the other laptop.
yeah, so
is going out.
we gotta regroup before we present. But it's all good. I shared it with you in the private chat. You want to go ahead and share it?
Okay,
So
I got it.
Dr. Coates was giving this powerful testimony to Congress.
Give his first and last to Nahashi.
I can't pronounce that, and I didn't want to embarrass myself. Yeah, I'm not good at
Ta-Nehisi
pronouncing
Coates.
names. As a teacher, that's one of the things that kind of messed me up real bad, bro. Trying to pronounce these names, and
Ta-Nehisi
Key and Peele.
Coates. That's
Key
his
and
name.
Peele. Jackie said we need to get some GoFundMe money so we can get some new tech. Jackie, you're right. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we are working on.
You know what, Jacqueline? It's hard. It's hard for us to ask people to like, subscribe, and share.
When your
it's
quality not up
doubly
there,
hard
yeah,
to ask people for money.
yeah.
We just
We gonna take our time, like
yeah.
like Mike said. We can just take our time, work at our pace. We're gonna get it right. I mean, the content is always going to be there, so that part's straight. As long as you guys keep dipping in and adding your perspectives and opinions, that's gonna make it even better to be able to come out, share some conversations and things like that. But yeah, this video is going to describe the effects of slavery and reparation. It was a reparations hearing in front of Congress, and just the way that this gentleman described the plight of Black people and the experience of us. I want to see if anyone listening can feel where he's coming from, can relate, and can understand why these things are important and why it's important for us to have representation.
I wish Earl of Laurel was here, but he blocked me.
I'm not bringing old Ghost. Let him rest. But let's check this video out. We can talk about it on the other side.
Okay, here we go.
Which American democracy, prosperity, and white privilege are founded. Mr. Coates, based on your monumental essay in the Atlantic magazine, The Case for Black Reparations, could you please describe briefly some of the continuing impacts and vestiges of the enslavement era on living African Americans today?
Sure. First, she got on the mic. First of all, one of the things I tried to make clear in my testimony is that we perceive the era of enslavement, the era of Jim Crow, and in fact, I would actually even add the era of mass incarceration as separate things that are somehow not tied to each other. The greatest damage that enslavement did, besides the economic damage, besides the normalization of torture, of rape, besides the normalization of treating people as though they are things, is the institution in the American mind that Black people are necessarily inferior. In 1865, when Black people were emancipated, that belief did not magically dissipate. It proceeded for 100 years afterwards. It proceeded, as I said in my testimony, well into the lifetime of many panel members, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and then many of the people were here in this audience. And so it's not a matter of the past. These things are linked. It's been said, I think, or alluded to repeatedly throughout this conversation that somehow wealthy African Americans are immune to these effects. But in addition to the wealth gap that's cited, one thing that folks should keep in mind is that quote unquote wealthy African Americans are not the equivalent of quote unquote wealthy white Americans in this country. The average African American family in this country making $100,000, which is, decent money, actually lives in the same kind of neighborhood that the average white family making $35,000 a year lives in. That is totally tied to the legacy of enslavement and Jim Crow, and the input and the idea in the mind that white people and Black people are somehow deserving of different things. If I injure you, the injury persists even after I actually commit the act. If I stab you, you may suffer complications long after that initial actual stabbing. If I shoot you, you may suffer complications long after that initial shooting. That's the case with African Americans. They're well in the living the effects.
Much are you?
You can talk.
All right. You see how technology is just not.
Hold on. You have to unmute yourself.
I did unmute myself. I'm unmuted. You see how it froze?
Okay.
I mean, because we have so much great things and content, I definitely want to work through these kind of technical issues because the conversation about stuff like this is important. Slavery didn't just end, you know, like he said, if you get stabbed, if you get shot, right, you go get treatment. You get the treatment, it doesn't just go away. You still dealing with the scar, you still dealing with the remnants of the incident. And I'm like, I don't understand how we can't see, even though it wasn't directly people that's alive today that, you know, had slaves and worked the system like that. It's impossible not to believe the effects of treating people less than humans does not just go away. You understand what I'm saying? It's emotional trauma. You're right, Jack. It's emotional trauma. And it's like the conversations that we have doesn't address this fully. We talk about it, and then, you know, either people try to make you feel guilty or people manipulate the situation to their agenda. It never gets addressed appropriately. And I'm thinking a platform like this could be the perfect place to talk. He also made an important comment about rich Black people, right? Rich Black people facing the same types of issues. I want to share this video since it looks like it is helping us.
I can do it.
All right, hold up. I'm just gonna copy it and I'm gonna send it to you again in the private, and you can send it. I like that flow because I can control it. I know what I'm doing. But Terrell Davis, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with him. He is an NFL Hall of Famer. He had an experience with United Airlines, right? United Airlines, and he's a wealthy man. You know, he was with his family on a public plane, and so his experience. Oh, I think I sent it the wrong way, huh? I just shared it.
Just put it in the comments.
I just put it in the comments.
What are you doing?
I am not doing well.
Okay, let me share
Okay,
it.
so
Let me just share it.
hold up, I did it. I put it back in
Can
the
I
private.
just share it?
Yeah, you can share it. But Terrell Davis, like I said, United Airlines, he was on a United Airline flight, and some things happened on the flight that you know, I just want to talk about on the other side of the video. If you guys want to take a look at it, as soon as we get it up. It's all good.
I'm sorry.
No, you're doing good. You're doing a whole lot better.
There's a delay.
It is a delay, but you're doing better than we did at the start. So I'm good. I'm glad with that. At least
Familiar with the
Okay, so again, this is Terrell Davis and the United Airlines story. Is it
story.
clicked? Oh.
You're on a flight.
Yeah.
Be-
They have the beverage service that starts.
Really, video?
And I'm in the aisle. My oldest son is right next to me in the middle seat. My youngest son is in the window seat. My wife is across the aisle, and my wife and daughter across the aisle in one row back.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a typical flight, nothing out of the ordinary. Beverage service starts, and the gentleman pulls up, and I'm reading a magazine. My kids are playing with their iPads, so I heard him ask, like, "What do you want? Like beverage? What do you want?"
Mm-hmm.
And they were busy playing with the iPad, so they didn't respond. And I remember the tone got a little bit more aggressive. And I was like, man, that was kind of rude for them to ask my kids like that. So they got startled. They ordered their drinks. And I remember this, he puts the drinks on the tray, but with force. Like he just kind of slams them down. They say, thank you. He doesn't say anything. So I was like, whatever. So he asked me my order. I gave him my order again, kind of slams the drink down. And again, I'm thinking, well, what is going on with this guy? But whatever. As he gives me my drink, he starts to move the cart. And my son says, excuse me, might I have some ice? And he obviously didn't hear my son ask for ice. So he moved the cart probably past my seat. And so my hand was up like, excuse me. And then I finally said, excuse me, can I get some ice? I just tapped him on the shoulder. He swings his arm back and said, don't hit me. And I'm like, dude, I didn't hit you. And then he rushed the gentleman in front of me, turns around and says, I saw everything. I saw that. Like, why do you didn't hit him? I'm like, of course I didn't hit him. So as I'm sitting there on the plane, it was bizarre because he's up there for a couple of minutes, and again, I was like, whatever. So I started reading the magazine.
So you don't think anything of it?
Nothing of it.
Yeah.
He comes back. He puts the cup of ice on my son's tray. He then takes the cart and takes it back up to the first class. And about 3 minutes later, another flight attendant takes over. She brings the cart down, starts servicing the area, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. But then
I don't see him for the rest of the flight.
You don't see him for the rest of
the flight.
But what did you see when you landed? What did you hear and see once the plane?
Oh, that's
landed?
a different story. I mean, when we landed, they told everybody to remain in their seats because for whatever reason. And I thought it was a medical emergency. I fly a lot, so I've seen that before where they say, stay in your seat, someone they need to tend to. And so I've seen that before. So again, I'm just reading a magazine and 4 or 5 minutes pass. And then my head is down and I can hear like the walkie-talkies. I hear all the gear and wrestling of like you can hear it. And everybody, you can kind of hear like the alls, or like you can hear people,
the
reactions to them coming on.
Yeah.
Who's coming on? The FBI?
FBI, big FBI letters on the jackets.
Big as daylight. Can't miss it.
Yeah.
Okay.
FBI, I believe it was Orange County Sheriff Department, guys with green. I didn't know who they were at the time, but you can tell what happened without explaining to me. Doing it, they went up to me and the guy, he whispers in my ear, he says, "Don't fight it," and he puts cuffs on me
While I'm
sitting down.
But everybody's still on the plane.
Everybody's on the
Still
plane.
He never introduced, acknowledged, confirmed that it was Terrell.
Or say,
He
hey,
didn't-
here's why. Here's what
why
happened.
we're doing this, or
Nothing.
can I ask what happened? He just walked straight up to him and raised his hand.
And what was it like to make your husband?
I thought it was a joke because what else could it be? And I saw the agents come on, so of course it caught my attention like everyone else, and they just walked straight up to Terrell and just played. And so I jumped out of my seat and I said, "Wait a minute, like what's going on?" And I hopped over the woman next to me. And I was kind of like to Terrell, "Are you joking? Like, is this a practical, is this a prank?" Like, and he just said quietly, "No, it's not." And I'm looking at my sons who are sitting right next to him, watching their dad being handcuffed. And what could we do? And I'm asking them, what is going on? Like, why are you doing this? Why? And they pick Terrell, have him stand up and pull him out. I go after him and he's telling me to stop. And then I'm sitting there, the kids are sitting in their seat.
It was chaos.
And the children are ages 9 to 13?
We have 13. Our sons are 13 and 11. Our daughter is 9.
Mm-hmm.
No one helped me.
Yeah.
No, they came back. They asked for a jacket to drape over Terrell's wrist. I said, "Can we get off the plane?" So I yelled to the kids, "Let's go." I grabbed Terrell's bag out of the overhead. Where do we go? Like, what do we do? I want to go with him. We were just left to fend for ourselves on a flight with everyone staring at us.
And let's take us, for people who are not familiar with the story. You're on a flight.
Yeah.
Beverage service starts.
Yeah.
Tell us.
It takes so long for me to stop everything.
All right. Yeah, that was quite an experience. And this is coming from a NFL Hall of Famer. A wealthy man. Abby, you wanted to give some shout outs before we continue?
Yeah, I wanted to just say hey to everyone that's in the chat because, let me get the mic. Boom, thank you. So hi, Nahilo Nordstrom, Mastermind Hour, Jeff Lynn. Who else is in here? Let me see. Snark, we have to have you back because I rewatched that show and I still have so many questions. Because my mom has she has a undergrad in biology and a master's in microbiology. So science is like my life. Who else? TW. That's my dude.
Yeah, thank you guys all for being here today and hanging with us through the technical glitches. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
It's okay. I mean, we mustering through. Appreciate your endurance through the tech issues. We'll get through it. But I wanted to say the video and the experience with Terrell. I like the comment that Nahilio made about it being working class.
I just put it up. If you
Yeah.
want to read it.
I feel the need to make the. I'm sorry, I can hardly say it. I feel the need to point out that these are working class people treating this man and his family like that. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
May I speak on that? Because there's so many. Oh, my hair looks so bad. I'm sorry. Anyway, because there's so many working class people who work for rich people without knowing that that's what they're doing. It's like, why are you going so hard for the man? You don't have stock in this company. You don't own shit. You are a worker and you're doing too much. You need to calm down.
My issue is when race is involved, and it does not always have to do with your economic status when race is involved. This is a racially motivated incident, because he didn't do what he was supposed to do, or he didn't do what he was told, so he was treated differently. And look at the extreme. I think that I just saw a video that said that they settled the lawsuit with him, and he was actually put on the flight ban for this incident. So he was not allowed to travel because of a misunderstanding over ice in a cup. And so I'm saying it doesn't matter if you black with money, you still treated like a black person. And that's my problem. That's why it's like race evens the playing field when it comes down to that mistreatment and things like that. That's what I'm talking about.
Do you remember that video of that white man that got tussled in the airport, and he said, "Why are you treating me like a black person?"
Right.
You remember that?
Right. And it's just like it's basically.
Should I find it?
No, because I'm gonna save that one for next conversation, because this video that I'm showing and I'm gonna end with is a Tupac flashback, Black in the Day video. Okay, and so it's definitely connected to what you're talking about, and I want to continue on that in our next week episode. But this video, it's gonna tie it in. It's gonna tie in what we're talking about.
Okay.
Mislabeling, mistreating, and things like that. You go ahead. I'm sorry.
Before you do that, can I just go into the chat, because I always love to read, to connect with the people that are watching from home.
Okay, and I sent the video to you in the private.
Yep. Because what's the purpose if we're not connecting with the people? Which is a Tupac thing, isn't it? So, Snarky says, "I just consider myself a teacher now." No, Snarky, you're more than a teacher. I would consider you to be an educator. I mean, a teacher is very important, but an educator changes lives. So.
Beyond the classroom. I want to emphasize that educators educate beyond the classroom. Not to say that teachers don't, but it's a much more personal, professional thing.
Yes, and I come from a line of educators, so that's why I say that. So
Snarky.
thank you, Snarky, for your service.
Snarky had a comment. He said, "We have so many psychological and sociological and psychological issues that we have to work through in society. As long as we continue to talk about it and not actually, address these things, people people don't really discuss it in depth. I mean, they surfacely talk about it. We get groups, we talk about something, and then we move on to the next made up incidents. It's like we never have addressed the issues of slavery at this particular time in my almost 50 years of living on this earth.
I mean, we
We haven't really addressed it appropriately because just like Dr. Coates said, it's just like being stabbed. You still have to deal with the scar, with the nerve damage, with all of the things that come from the pain. You know what I'm saying? And not only to make people feel, bad for feeling that way, or continuing to do the very things that people are talking about. That'll never get us anywhere. And that's what's occurring right now. It's like the same conversations over and over and over and over again. So
because if you see a community of people that are seeing every other community getting reparations and they don't, then you spitting on us
and telling us to enjoy it and tell you to enjoy it or get upset with you if you complain about it. All right, can we go into this last video?
I want to finish. Can I
Excuse
finish?
me?
Let me finish.
Excuse me.
So, Snarky, wait, I forgot what I was about to say because you hit my chair. We have so many seconds. Yeah, so I wanted to say something about that. Like we don't address like our need for emotional intelligence in this society. Our need to tamper down our anger and treat each other like human beings. It's really bad. And we got a bunch of guns. So that's great. So what else is being said? That was sort of a... Can you help me with the chat? That was sort of an involuntary admission of the way the Black community is treated. Okay, thank you, Jacqueline. We love you. I was going to ask what the difference is between a teacher and educator. And did we answer it, or teacher is a job title while educator is state of being? Mastermind answered. Totally. Okay, what else? Anything else? We lose kids by 3rd grade. You run into problems with some kids having multiple computers per person, and some families with none. Oh, and we teach online. Oh, that's... No, that really hurts because some, like our older kids, are only being taught online. They don't go outside anymore. They don't socialize.
Because we live in a different world. Because we can't go outside when there's gunfire and shoot drive-bys. It's a different world that we have not adjusted to. That's what I'm saying. Kids can't go outside and play anymore. I see several of my friends who are parents on social media who complain about the very thing you're talking about. They can't go outside anymore because there's kids with guns terrorizing the neighborhoods. So I want to lead into the last video before we wrap up. That kind of ties all this in. So I shared it with you in the space.
In the private chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you check the last of the chats while I pull it?
Yes, we caught up. Snark had one more comment. He said, right now we are working on overcoming ADD and ADHD in class, which is over labeling kids.
Over labeling.
And that's another
I
conversation.
want to talk about that.
That's another conversation that we could elaborate on. We got a couple of more minutes.
We talk about it right now.
Because we're supposed to be off in a little hour, remember? We have other things going on.
Why is this not stopping? Okay.
All righty.
No, I want to talk about that.
We could continue it on your show tomorrow. Oh, I'm sorry, on Thursday. Could elaborate on that
I want to
conversation.
talk about it now. Oh my gosh. We just over-label kids. Okay, like testosterone, estrogen are different hormones. So boys are more rambunctious when they're younger. So they're running around, they're trying to get their energy out, and
No,
you did just mute me.
I was trying to mute this computer.
Okay, I was about to go off. Anyway, like I was saying, boys are more rambunctious than girls, just hormonally. And so if a parent, a teacher is dealing with the things that she has to deal with, she or he, because they're taking away PE and all that stuff. So this boy is like in class. All right, Timo, we want me to wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap it up. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up for you, girl. Wrap it up. There we go. I can't talk. I got shit to say, but I can't talk. Here you go. That's what you want. That's what you're getting.
Everybody go.
The music made me do it. That's what Ronald Ray Howard claimed. Now, the officer's widow is suing Tupac and his record company for $100 million. What do the people claim, though? Because there were some lyrics in the song about cop dusting or something like that, right?
Well, actually, the story that they were talking about is called Soldier Story. And it wasn't about killing cops and all. That's just what the media took, because, they're going to take what they want. It was about somebody who was so scared of police brutality that he panicked when they pulled him over.
They finally pulled me over and I laughed. Remember Rodney King and I blast on this punk ass.
To show how his life fell apart.
Now I got a murder case.
At the end of the story, he died.
Caught a bullet in my head. The screams never left my mind. My brother caught a bullet too. But I think he gonna pull through, cause he deserves to. This fast life ain't everything they told you. They never get much older. Follow the tracks of a soldier.
But they didn't say that. They didn't talk about none of that. They just took what they wanted.
The media generally has portrayed Tupac in basically a negative light.
Your song, I Don't Give an F.
I start the song out sitting in a paddy wagon and the cops are bragging about beating up another brother.
What that shows is what the media on any day is able to show you about anyone's life. And in reality, people live their life on a day-to-day basis.
So I feel like my job is to tell a story, the whole story. And I can't censor whatever you say, censor it or making it right. It's still censoring it. We all got to have the knowledge of what's going on. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, so you don't advocate cop killing.
Not at all. I don't advocate violence in any way.
I'm just curious as to whether the song that he was listening to had anything to do with cop killing, or
no. I just said I don't write songs about cop killing.
But it did have the lyrics
don't
in
6
there.
of the songs on your album mention cop killing?
No.
Oh,
They
that's
don't.
not true.
No. All my
That is
songs
not
talk about
true.
police brutality and self-defense. Now that's something different.
If we're going to talk about police, this man over here is in a really rough area, and he puts his life on the line every day.
I got so much respect for him for that, but look, we have to live in the same neighborhoods without bulletproof vests, without backup, without walkie-talkies, without guns, without tear gas, without pepper spray, without batons.
So now we have to fix the problem.
Pac knew that media is a machine that you either work with it or against, so he worked with it.
These people don't see it every day.
No, but what I would like to see is for children in our country to have a better future than what you guys have. And that's not going to happen when he's repressing his generation and his people by saying they have no hope.
What do you know about my people?
I know a lot about your people.
Know about just because you do charity, give money, wipe the guilt away, does not mean you know about the young black man of today's society.
What would you say is the answer to that? Violence?
No, it's making music. It's what I'm doing now. It sparks dialogue, and that's how laws get made. That's how change get made.
I see no changes. All I see is racist faces. Misplaced hate makes disgrace to races. We under. I wonder what it takes to make this one better place. Let's erase the waste. Take the evil out the people that we acting right. Cause we're black and white, smoke black tonight. And the only time we chill is when we kill each other. It takes skill to be real, time to heal each other.
Okay, let's get serious. All BS aside, it all comes down to we got to survive here in this country. Because I'm not going back to Africa. I mean, if this is truly a melting pot, then we really need to be like that. White folks, black folks, Korean folks, Mexican folks, Puerto Ricans, we got to understand each other.
Most people have no clue that in 2023, the best way to make money on Amazon is not with physical products. It's Amazon's other company, Audible. Audible pays me $8,000 to $10,000. Not the only one. People like Katrina and Carla, Elena, Renee, all making thousands of dollars a month in passive income